Okay, it's the final level. I decided I would make a second video of this to see. I've already run levels. Where did I leave off? Well, I'm on level 7 now. I've already run levels 1 to 7 here, checking off the ignobles. You can see that I have all of the traits by level 6. And you might have recalled, I don't know if that happened in the first video or not, but I lost the ability permanently of having methodical, but I restored it when I got to Sacrosanct. And all the skills you would have normally at levels 1, 2, 3, all the way up to level 8, but I actually had an encounter where I picked up Pickpocket. And there were a few times when the game told me to change all my skills, but now at level 7, with that extra skill I picked up, I have all of the skills. I have no perilous conditions. In the final edition of the game, I may change that a little bit and make some of the perilous conditions occur a little bit more prominently. Plus, if you play with the advanced rules, which I'm going to be hinting at in the final version of this, you have areas in the map that you're actually moving through, and those areas will have permanent effects of arcane haunts and curses, causing religious doubt, ruined gear, etc. And so I have 7 more levels to go through. The highlights so far of me. See, I don't think this actually shows up, which is good, but I will read them off to you. I currently am working with. I've left off that I'm at a leadership dispute, and I just checked comradeship to go up to level 7. I have redirects of if I go to Hand of Fate, instead I'm going to go to a well-matched duel. And if I get Torture, luckily, I can skip to Torture and go to Baronial Court. So I have a patron in the court who's going to protect me. There's a couple of minor quests I picked up. The first one is that there's a blight on my hometown. It's a minor quest. And if I ever go to Stranger Bedfellows, instead I'll redirect to Short-Term Contentment. I'll find the solution to that problem. And the second one is that there's an evolving problem with the King of the Fae, and he must be slain at the Fae Forest of fighting the beast. And if I ever go to Wild Pursuit, instead it's going to turn back on me because I have more than enough enemies that I've picked up in the 7 levels that I've been playing. And if Wild Pursuit, will substitute for Fleeing in Terror. And the second minor quest I have is that I need to solve a problem with missing children, and it's a minor quest that if I ever get to Monastic Abbey, instead I'm going to skip to Short-Term Contentment and solve that one. No current blessings. I've had a number of blessings. The best one I had is actually the ones that make me ignore Treasure Laden. Treasure Laden seems to appear a number of times in the game, at least with the randomness that I've been going through. And the other thing is that I have had twice the ability to roll twice or skip the first time I roll a d20 and decide to roll again, yet I've never found a use for it. Maybe it's because I don't know the rules even myself as a player well enough to know, oh, that's not a good thing to do. But the benefit of ignoring certain perilous conditions or locking certain abilities is probably better than the ability to roll multiple times, which is counterintuitive. Six times I've had Evil Fealty. Oh my gosh, am I a mean person. But it's actually one of the better locations to appear and play. And the Evil Fealty is always short-lived. It seems like the cults I've joined, all of them end up ruined, but I end up making out like a bandit. As you can see, I have all 7 magical abilities. There was a time early on when I had all 7 magical abilities, I think from level 3 to level 4, and then I finally lost one. But since then, I have a number of magical abilities. Again, in the final version, that may change. I may add a little bit more where your magical abilities are stripped from you, although maybe not. By the time you're level 7, you probably do understand. There was one time when I had 10 swaggering, and I ended up losing all 10 swaggering in one fell swoop when I went to one of my mortal hiatus, which is the deaths. I've had 8 total deaths along the way. Some of those I could have avoided by sacrificing companions, but I wanted to see the full effect of this. Right now I have 18 swaggering. I'm only missing Hill Punch and Repartee. And so I'm rather impressive as a character, and I do have a penultimate quest. I have gone to all the different final main quests. I've been Journey to the Holy Land. I have proven legend to exist. I have gone to I have not done the the political intrigue until now. One of my final quests here will be political intrigue. But numerous times, probably half a dozen times, I've gone after magical discoveries, and that would pretty much match your other favorite roleplay game, where there's a lot of magic that appears in the game. Again, my, let's see, I lost one level, all my swaggering 10 of them, ouch. I was slain once by the Usurper's Own, a subcult in the game. At level 3, I gained the 7th and had all 7 magical abilities. I held them for nearly all the way to level 5, but those Fey bastards took one from me, but since I've gotten it back. I've died defending my wench in a mutiny. I've killed the Leviathan of legend and walk away chuckling as the town was destroyed and others claim the fame. Interesting. I lost my uncontested dagger thrust permanently, but then it's not so permanently in the game because it's sacrosanct. I was able to restore it. But for a period of time, I could not have uncontested dagger thrust because my uncontested dagger thrust was so notorious that assassins were looking for people with that reputation to hunt me down. A Loci at one time gave me all 9 perilous conditions. That was not fun. And a friend and headmaster swapped bodies with me at an execution. That was one of the few times I think I went to Fate Unknown. And the executioner was caused by my affair with a goddess. I treated it as a wench. I did not realize she was a goddess. I've defeated the Sphinx. I've defeated the Griffin. I failed a roll of 9 at the Warlock's Keep in the Eastern Lairs, and it resulted in my first Fate Unknown. The gods want me to change everyone for the better, and many times I hunted and even found magical treasures. Yet I finally quarreled over a last find and was killed on one quest of treasure laden. By being treasure laden on my magical discovery quest. So all in all, I've had a pretty fun and fulfilling life so far. And all of this, again, was just generated through the dice rolls and moving through. The game, at first, is very hard because, you know, if you see at levels 0 to 3, your rolls are very hard. And then later on, your rolls get easier. Plus, you end up with, you know, magic abilities and swaggering companions and traits and skills that allow you to skip to less brutal conditions. So let's try to make level 8 as we go through the table. So I left off at leadership dispute, so I'm up at 463. I probably, to save time, I won't be cutting and pasting as much into the chat, but we'll see. The army lives and dies on orders of the strong commander. When there is doubt, there is defeat. These are character-driven ideals. The leadership is in question. The general may have died even by natural causes. The general may have been recalled. The general may have overstepped his mandate and is now an outlaw. The organization is rife with ambitious underlings who long for their chance to lead. The next few days, or even moments, are precarious. Check the ignoble comradeship. I just did that, and that's how I became level 7. Next event is 463 plus a d20. Optional, spend a clue point and go immediately to Baronial Court. Now, Baronial Court, no, I would suffer this. I'm not that afraid. I'm at this level especially. Let me roll that d20. And there's a 10, so I'm going to go down to event 10, which is... if you're doing your addition, it's 473. Ambitious pages. The commander is dead. This is battlefield related, but probably more because your side was beaten, not riven. Now they are divided. There was no clear second in command authority. Some of your allies poke and say you should seize control with a few choice murders. Attempt a difficult role. If you have the trait bold, I do, automatic success. So with failure, gain a perilous condition of muddle. No, I won't be muddled. You do not move. You do not make a move and look forward to leaving this new trouble as soon as the commander is embalmed and returned home. Go to growth. Now, growth I've found is not so good when you lose someone close to you like this. Optional, you may wish to stay away from larger warfare. You may. Should you wish to stay away from larger warfare, the next time you generate army on the mount, treat as sea travel. I've not generated a whole lot of armies. I've generated a fair amount of sea travel, but I'm going to put that under my redirects. I'm not sure that shows up in the broad video here. Sometimes the you have the recorder only records the one app, and some of these are treated as separate apps, separate pages. That's neither here nor there. I will move from our army on the march to sea travel, and you may battle there, but it's at a slower sailing pace. And let me see, go to event growth, 1030. Let me go down to growth. Still haven't checked any ignobles at level 8. I'm missing. I want it. I want that last level. I want to prove I can get to that end. This is actually a little bit. There's some changes I made over the time of playtest. So some of the changes are in here, but for you listening at home, you're not going to know the difference. I'm still looking for growth. I need to read the number here and stop screwing around. Growth is 1030. It's a lot easier to find by the number, and I get to growth. A figure of importance in your current life is gone. You may have suffered a setback, the loss of something, or living with the reality of your own cowardice, fears, or longing. Maybe you did evil, oh boy did I ever, and now you regret that. Maybe you lost your temper and mind and struggle to rationalize or find a way to cope. Heady stuff. Maybe stick with your master, trainer, father figure, or leader has died. He did in the last scene. Bury him in your vanity. You're only and hopelessly human. Stifle a cry. Remove all perilous conditions. That's nice. It's probably a bit much. Maybe it should be remove all perilous conditions. For a character below level 4. You will be offered a penultimate event on the next roll. Given a choice, take it or not. The Weavers of the Fate are fickle. Now it goes on to say that I cannot skip the D20 roll at my level, and this result will lock me, unfortunately, where I'm going to have to complete a minor quest. Until I complete a minor quest, I won't be able to check ignobles. The game gets a little bit harder as you start to move up. In death, the fatherly figure leaves instructions for a sacred ritual to complete his burial. Conduct a ceremony to transfer the innate powers of the departed man's weapon and the djinn inside the metal into your sword. Add Knightly Blade. I think I already have Knightly Blade. I do. I'm missing Hill Punch and some repartee at this level. A creature is beyond your missteps or depth of your mentor. It was located. So if I go to, I'm going to gain a penultimate event of 0946. Now somebody asked me how you do these double events. I already have one, so I can either say that I already have one, so I wouldn't add a second one. Oh, it's so tough to write with this stylus here. Wish I could just type on this map. 9. But I'm going to do it with this. I'm going to go, my secondary event is 946. I'm just going to put 946 here. And I'm just going to cascade them. I can treat myself as if I'm an old school buffer here. And I must get to 946 before I go to 1828, before I check any ignobles. Tough stuff. And I go on to Crossroads 106. Off to Crossroads. Crossroads have been here many a day. Where to? You're on the road and heading toward the frontiers. Those who live this far away from civilization tend to be private. Best not to pry too deeply into what may be a hidden agenda. Attempt it difficult to gain either a single swaggering magic ability or companion of your choice. That's good. I'm trying to get to that 20 just for gee whiz. And here comes my roll. A difficult roll. My difficult roll at level 7 is only a 7 on 2 dice. And I've made that roll, so I'm going to pick up another swaggering. I'll pick up repartee. I have 19 out of 20 of those. That puts me in a really rarefied place where I can walk through a lot of these encounter tables. And let's see, there's work to do, and your talents and friends are all important. Next event, if you have a quest and penultimate event, your next quest is 116 plus a D10. So D10, that D10 is not a D10. I'm rolling a D20 and having it. Why I don't roll a D10? It's D&D. That's a 5. So 5 plus 116, 121, 121, or it's number 15. I go down to verify that, just the rules are right. 121, event 122 is actually a roll of 15. Border Tiers, the frontier is a place of rugged individuals and sparse homesteads. Anything thrilling is remote, and even then the worthwhile locales offering jobs are few and far between. You make your own excitement of the wrong kind, picking a fight with some snobbish hunters. Of course, they are connected somehow to the nobility. Attempt an ordinary roll. Should be an easy 4 for me. And I've made it. If you have the perilous condition of wanderlust foolhardy, I do not. The roll will be made at tasking. Upon failure, lose a random swaggering. I don't lose, but I am going to go to jail. Oh, how many times I've been jailed. It's like my second home. I should have named the jailer by now. Hi, Bob. How you doing? How's the family? Still henpecked again. You have gotten yourself slammed in the clink, in the hoosgow, in the guardhouse, the pokey. This is not truly a modern penitentiary. You are not held in house. You are held in house arrest. You may wander the grounds, typically even dine sometimes with the headmaster. Your clothing and gear is not changed. In most cases, your horse is in a stable for you to ride. You wear your sword as a sidearm. Keep it ceremonial and unsheath it only to fight monsters. You are told rather firmly to stay put, do not stray nor cause trouble. If you are a known fugitive, someone who has fled justice before, you will be held in bronze chains attached to a cell wall deep in the dungeons. That could be me. You will be unable to leave magically or physically. You may also be just forgotten. There is no right to trial. There are no rights at all. Enjoy your stay. If you wish to be a purist or a problem, remove the following 8 swaggering related to possessions, things like agile mount or golden blade, but I'm not going to be a pain. Else you can equally assume that these are inherent in you and soon retrieve in your escape. Wouldn't be much fun if the mechanics held you for years and years until you're too old to be a threat. I, for one, don't care for a play as a retired shopkeep. Lose the perilous condition treasure laden, they would take that from you. Take that burden off my hands. If you do not already have a penultimate quest, then elderly prisoner dies and gives you one. But I do have a quest. Actually, I have 2. Next event is 967 plus a D20. All right, optional. For those who lack the tribulation of fame, go to a Mythic Enforcer 976. I would love to go to event 96 and take that 976. 976 tells me I'm going to check the ignoble tribulation. So I've added my first ignoble here. And it says a lordly prisoner needs a protector. And the guards, from the guards and a cadre of thieves, you agree having little else to do, though you think the paranoid man has little to fear. Attempt a difficult roll. I've made my difficult roll. And with that difficult roll, I success and gain a random swaggering of the 20. Random, it's probably not, I've got 19, so it's 17. 17 is up here, and talking mount, I already have a talking mount. Whoa, Wilbur. Let's see what it says. Let's go back to that 9. That 9, Mythic Enforcer, and it's funny that matches. And go to jail again. So I'm still in jail. I'm rolling that D20, and that D20 19 at 19. Unspeakable malady. Sanitation is lacking. You have caught a rotting illness from the conditions. This is the kind of woe that heals itself. All shun you and ask you to please leave before you infect all. Check any ignoble of your choice up to level 4, not after I'm above level 4. Attempt an ordinary roll. 2 dice for a 4. Easily done. Upon success, go to Fate Unknown. I don't have to go to Cliffhanger. Fate Unknown, that'd be the second time I go to Fate Unknown. Fate Unknown's not bad. I'm going to pick up a blessing there, which is good. Blessings are always nice. Blessings on ye little men. Barefoot boys with cheeks of tan. I'm going to go to a Fate Unknown. Let me click on that. And life gives us few second chances unless you live the life of a fantasy hero. The gods are drawn to your outcome. Any normal person would have the good sense to die. The presence of supernatural immortal hosts is not a comfort. This aftermath might leave you with memory loss, a horrible disfigurement, having a longing for answers, seeking revenge with no clear path to a goal. You've changed so your own mother would no longer recognize you. The Furies weep for you, even as some say they caused this mishap. Zero your clue points in penultimate outcome. Any quest you had is moot. Well, that's actually a good thing, because I really didn't want that extra quest to try to find the beast. I lose the fact that I have that political intrigue, but my whole life I've been more mercenary than political, so why would I want it now? I'm going to zero all that out. And it says, Fate Unknown is a way to end the story of a hero. The planets and zodiac here align and intervene. Whether godly gift or divine messenger, you could have bestowed upon you a blessing. Most of these modify the regular game mechanics. Quite frankly, you seem unlucky and could use help. Wow, that's an insult. You will only have one blessing at a time. You lose your blessing should you ever get to Fate Unknown. You also lose it when you go up a level. You also lose it when you get a new blessing. You're only going to have one at a time. You're on the honor system. Did you know that your character may acquire immunity even to certain perilous conditions? That's wonderful. But when the event Fate Unknown occurs, those immunities are also reset. Fate Unknown seems a mixed blessing. Take your mulligan do-over when you can. Event 1386 plus a d20. I go to my dice rolls. A 2. A 2 says that warm twice over, your face gains a Janus quality. Well, somebody else's face, remember, because I swap bodies on my execution. Your face gains a Janus quality. People looking at you from different angles see different people. That's pretty cool. Your actions almost seem like you are travel juxtaposed. Sometimes I write words not even I can pronounce. On a twin. Your blessing is duality, such that whenever you're told to attempt a task resolution roll, do so twice. Oh, that is so unnecessary at my level. But that is a great one to be able to roll twice. Let me put that blessing in my blessing page here. There it is. And we go over to Hand of Fate. Now, Hand of Fate allows you to roll against all of your perilous conditions and remove them. I may change that. I may make it just one. That seemed like a bit too much. Those perilous conditions are important because they send you to sections of the rules that you normally might not ever get to. So you're missing out on probably, no, I wouldn't say a fifth, but maybe is it a 10th? It's about a tenth of the game if you constantly have no perilous conditions. But going to those perilous conditions, the ones you're forced to go to, I have been to Hermit once. Let me go down to them just as a gee whiz thing. There are things like the no-win dilemma, enslaved. Oh, enslaved is an ugly one. Wanted man, a danger ho. I've never been enslaved. I've been galley slaved twice. A danger ho. I've done a couple of those. Heretic. I've never been a heretic. On the lam a couple of times. Waylaid. I've never been in waylaid. Underwater terror. I did that once. Remember, I threw up on the queen of the mermaids. I have been a hermit once. And then the really good ones that you get mostly for having the appropriate skill are opportunity mocks, bend the knee, wild pursuit, realm of whimsy. I think I've been to Realm of Whimsy once. Craft and Toil. I have been to Thievery a number of times. Thievery is where I picked up the free pickpocket. I also had a immunity from Treasure Laden from that for a little while. Lucky rolls. All right, does a hero have a story arc that demands setbacks and evil final failure? Here you are not deciding your own future, but instead have circumstances design and force your reaction. And we're going to go ahead and we're going to roll a d20. I have no quest, so it's just going to be a d20, a 16. I go down to event 16, which is at event 17, roll 16. Sullen maids, you pass a group of women weeping. They may have come from mass. You sigh and feel obligated to ask about their troubles. Their stories start hackneyed. Unfaithful husband, disobedient kids, harsh rents, drunken brothers or fathers, starvation, disease, menfolk off to war. There's about 100 small deeds any hero might write, but so far the potential culprits seem more browbeaten than villainous. Then the tale takes a magical turn. Vile experiments, dark overtones, frightened friars. This could be related to my quest to find the missing children. Okay, that sounds motivating. If you currently have 4 or more clue points toward a penultimate event, I do not. Your opportunity has passed. Your quest has failed. 0, your penultimate event, and lose all your clue points. Otherwise, attempt an ordinary roll. Ordinary roll to go support the underdog. Now remember, I'm rolling twice for this, but that first 4. And my level is 4, is an ordinary roll is made. And we go to support the underdog, 1156. So I'm going to take these women's petitions up to double check that supporting the underdog doesn't redirect me. Gosh, I got a number of redirects I got to keep track of. Sometimes the plebs find a defender. Contrary to popular misconception, chivalry is not helping the powerless change station or eliminate their yokes. Someone's got to work the fields. Do you want that to be you? Try rolling tasking to plant a crop and avoid monster predation. Add a nearly impossible roll to keep the harvest safe from landlords and bandits. Skip the die roll you failed, cause in most systems you need to roll wandering monsters 3 times a day. We know that system, and worse every hour. Have you, here you do have a rather egregious criminal lord. You try to overthrow the guy. Everyone afterward would expect you to rule, at least until you get overthrown rightly or wrongly. A throne-bound life in a fantasy game has no winners. In retrospect, this appears to be various ways to get yourself killed checking ignobles. Well, I do want to check the ignobles. While gaining possible swaggering, I have all the swaggering. Have you, all but one, have you been to mortal hiatus? I have. I've been there 8 times. It's not game over. It is not. Here's the deal. Go there right now. Mortal hiatus, event 1408, and gain a random swaggering of the 20. Nah. No nobles, though. Else, risk a little bit more and roll a d20. I'm going to risk a little bit more and get a 19. High numbers. Boy, it's a high number day. Let's see what we are with high number day. High number day says that another play, the situation seems deadlocked, but at least, let me fix that typo, but at least there has been a little bloodshed. The leaders meet yet again unkempt. Neither has slept well for days. You insist both sides again state their claims. Neither truly suffers. A third party, an oppressed minority, or a non-human fae are the true victims. Time has come for war. You pit the human factions against one another, so the bystanders, the truly innocent and abused, will have their revenge. Check any ignoble of your choice up to level 4. After level 4, attempt tasking roll to gain a magical ability of your choice. I already have all 7, but fail and gain a random perilous condition of the 9. I don't want to fail this tasking roll. Let me roll 2 dice. It's an 11. My tasking roll is a 9. Remember, I get to roll twice just for gee whiz because I've got that 16, a waste. Continue as you desire with daring escape or wanted man. I'm going to go to daring escape. I'm afraid of those other tables, else I would test them. Should I test them anyway? Alright, I'm going to go to Wanted Man. You convinced me. Now, do I have a Wanted Man? While Pursuit goes to Fleeing Terror. No. I had this one cascade where if I got Fate Unknown, I would go to Mortal Hiatus. But at Mortal Hiatus, I would go to Baron's Court. But at Baron's Court, I would settle a feud and go to support the underdog. So I had like 4 of them appear and cancel off my list. This is stuff that computers do so well. We're going to go down to Wanted Man. A Wanted Man, go ahead and name a number, a big number. That's the reward on your head. The only variable would be whether it's coins of silver or true gold. Being wanted is not the same as being tracked. The campaign would have several kingdoms, several counties within each. There would be foreign lands, disputed territory. You have a frontier, a throwback to ancient times when legions kept barbarians. Like your character in Jack, there are plenty of places to hide the world of no cell phones. Oh, what a blessing that would be. Then again, there's magic. How do you truly hide and become anonymous? This could be a grand game of magical cat and mouse, but more likely it's an assessment of your significance. Often you're not worth being hounded, not forever. You haven't risen to that degree of scourge, menace, plague bringer. You are more a thorn. Just to avoid confusion, you are no longer fleeing or on the lam in exile. I've been in exile several times. It's not that bad. There should not be immediate harm. However, people still want you dead, so what else is new? Scrambled eggs and such, omelet making and other analogies. You have enemies. That means they have an enemy right back at them. Gain a random swaggering. Well, let's see if I can get that one roll. What is it? It's an 11. And a 5, nah, I already got a charismatic style. Okay, let me see. Attempt a roll based on your level. I am level 7. It's nearly impossible. No, that's for level 8. Tasking roll. But tasking roll, I'm rolling twice. I need a 9. I made it. Missed it the second time, but you count the better one when I got this advantage. And let's see. Should be a good audience. Let's see. Success or remove a perilous condition. I don't have any. A next event, 1471 plus a d20, 18. I went here as a perilous condition. It was sort of by choice. 18. I moved down the list. Was it a bad decision on my part? Everywhere you go, the wanted posters have your image. Check ignoble magic toward advances up to level 4. You cannot keep up magical deception. You have little choice but to mar yourself. In an attempt to change your facial features. Well, I have that Janus quality too. You have suffered a vicious injury to your nose and face. Attempt a difficult roll. That's a 7 for me. I'm rolling twice. Made it the first time. Made it the second time. Only need to make it once. You have suffered a vicious wound to your nose and face. Attempt a difficult roll. Fail. And after this event, you will never gain courtly graces. Luckily, I already have it. Jot a note. Otherwise, should you go up a level, you will not gain it. But I'm already at the top. Merchant ports. I'm going out to sea. I'm going out to sea because the sea loves me. I've had some great adventures on the sea. Merchant port. Salt air invigorates the lungs until you notice people are staring. You enter a harbor, a quintessential place of fantasy role-playing, a watery haven with a multitude of cultures meet. The smell of exotic spices and animals is disgusting. Let's be real, foreigners are strange, and the bread they eat is sandpaper. Make your stay as short as possible. Anyone looking you square on is expecting a chop to the teeth. Score some lotus powder if you need rest. If you have a quest and penultimate event, next event might be sea travel. Unless you just arrive here back from the dock from a set of encounters on the sea. And it gives the examples. Otherwise, no quest or return from the sea. Just roll a d20. Yeah, now do I have anything that redirects sea travel? I don't. And a 12. You can see that as you go up in level, it's very hard to find ignobles. I've had about 5 or 6 of them, but I've had to skip. The inevitable choice. The water is right there, undeniably so. As much as you refrained and avoided and denied, you find yourself ready again to go to sea. Of course not. If you have 3 or more clue points toward the quest of penultimate outcome, you can go there now. Otherwise, accept the quest to claim a fabulous treasure, and I love that. I'm constantly searching for fabulous treasures and constantly burning them all whenever I get 18. You can see how awkward I am drawing these numbers with this big fat marker. It's like writing with a Sharpie. 14. 1849. Go to sea travel. I will go to sea travel. And sail the pea green waters or blue chill of the ice melt, days of regimented tasks, punctuated by moments of feverish action along coast, rivers, and across open water. This is the fastest mode of travel after a magical portal, and no one, even a conjurer, feels safe stepping into magical tunnels. I'll sort of truncate this as I go along. I've read this many times myself, and for you, you'll read it when you get the game. D20 plus 20, unless you need the ignoble adventure, and then you're going to go to Thar She Blows. I do need the ignoble adventure. I will go to Thar She Blows. Thar She Blows, someone spots a fluke, the tail or spray of a passing whale. In a fantasy realm, the beast below the water is even more fearsome. Check the ignoble adventure I just did. Attempt an ordinary roll to gain a clue point. And, I failed the first time, but I make it miraculously and hugely the second time. Let's go ahead and put that coin there. And it says, attempt to blah, blah, blah. If you have the perilous conditional wanderlust, go to underwater trail. I know I don't want to go to sea creatures. Let's go to the sea monster instead, see what happens. 358. You might say that anything that attacks your ship without having a ship of its own is a sea monster. However, these events also include an assortment of rafts and barges that bring dark conjurers, lizard men, and orcish refugees in the night. A true wizard might travel on the back of on the water on the back of a serpent or huge swan. Tesseraconteres is worth a Google. It's an amazing ship that they built, I think, for the Egyptian queen. Large, multi-towered floating castles at sea would also count as more monster than ship-to-ship action. The creatures here can remain submerged. The creatures could attack from the air. Check the ignoble heroics toward advancement. We're starting to move. 3 out of 9 toward level 8. And attempt nearly impossible roll. If you have the swaggering repartee, I do have the swaggering repartee. With the swaggering repartee, I will treat the roll as ordinary. An ordinary is a roll 4 for me, and I'm rolling twice. Boonka, boonka. Okay, I made it both times. I don't need to roll it twice if I make it the first time. I like rolling dice. If, upon success, the degree of difficulty in the next action is decreased. Tasking becomes difficult. Difficult becomes ordinary. Ordinary becomes routine, which is automatic success. Those are all really nice. A D20. Will I beat the sea monster? We should, at this point, describe the sea monster. Is it multi-headed? Is it more like a lizard in the sea? I like octopus. It's classic. And it, the tentacles coming over the deck, trying to pull the whole ship under, fighting one individually in a close-up. D20. Let's go to the D20 here. 19. 19. Deep breath. A change in the weather. Many gods and monsters test the mariners by causing water spouts. The thrashing of a dead leviathan or wounded kraken will also change the atmosphere. Attempt a difficult roll. If you have companion stranger, and I do, pretty kitted out rather well here. A roll is treated as automatic success. Thank you, random stranger. Upon success, go to the merchant port, 0211, otherwise go to storms. And there's a blue icon on that. X marks the spot, which you could refer to in the rules. I'm not playing anything advanced now. I'll demo them maybe later. Merchant port. Back to merchant port I go after killing the Kraken. And on that, I took 3 ignobles, right? Boom, boom, 2 ignobles, boom, boom, boom. That's pretty good. And again, the salt air, invigorating. And I, otherwise, no request. Wait, if you have a quest and penultimate event, the next event might be sea travel, unless you have arrived back on the dock. I did arrive back on the dock, so let's roll a d20 and see what happens instead. 19. 19 going up to event 19 of the, it's actually event 230, which is roll 19. A blockade, when several ships anchor in an arc outside the harbor, you consider it strange and probably sufficient cause to depart. Yet leaving by road, you find your escape challenged by an approaching army. No longer innocent, there are no neutral parties in the upcoming conflict. Attempt a difficult roll. And I've made that difficult roll. My difficult roll is only a 7. Remember when an ordinary roll was only a 7 when I first started playing this? If you have a companion stranger, automatic success. Boy, that companion stranger, 1-2 in a row. I should meet him. I should introduce myself. But there's always the guy lingering in the background, keeping an eye on me. Is it Zeus? Or is it just some guy that's crazy? Upon success, gain a clue point. I like gaining clue points, because if I get enough of those, especially with the advanced rolls, I can use them to benefit myself. But let's pop that clue point in here. Yay. And with 3, usually you can end up going off to your main objective at 19. Is that 219? No, it's not. 19,000 encounters. It's 1849. We go to success for clue point, but I'm in a siege. 0589. Go up to siege 0985. Have you ever been in a fantasy siege in a fantasy game? Has your referee ever run one for you? Ooh, take a lesson from me, folks. There's a lot more to do than go down and kill orcs inside of rooms that are 5 by 5. The place is under attack. The forces are locked. A stalemate. Magic and artillery seem balanced. A game of putting weight on a teeter-totter. High walls, thick walls, countermeasure, fire and hurled stone, dead animals, severed limbs, moats, trenches, and undermine. All forms of agony are utilized to get the intruders to give up or those trapped to surrender. Everything that was taken for granted is now scarce for both the besieged and the forces of encirclement. The rolls get exponentially more complex if a port is involved. Hey, it is. What about supply through the underworlds or airborne delivery for the rich? Is it any wonder that these experiences are hard to model, let alone envision, as anything other than obscenity? One side will eventually lose and the whole will snap in the center. Are you inside, outside, coming in relief, avoiding all? The concerns here are for the character inside alone. That would be me. Your place among the troops outside, even though much is tenuous, is not a position much different from those already presented by garrison or army. But inside, you also have the concern for lost hope and reprehensible escape. 598 plus a d20 optional for a character lacking prudence. I love that. I am a character lacking prudence. And I'm going to go to event 597. At 597, practical choices. The siege will be lost. That seems inevitable. The local food stocks are miserable. You know horse meat often gets harvested by starving soldiers. Hide your mount, even allowing it to run free. You will be reunited soon enough, like you have in the past. Check the ignoble prudence. I just did. If you have the skill minstrel, I do. Go to Realm of Whimsy. Who's going to get me out? Otherwise, I would go to Evil Fealty. Oh, so much. My friend, Evil Fealty. I've been there so many times, but no, Realm of Whimsy. I'm not sure if I've been there. I think I was once there, somewhere along the way. The Realm of Whimsy. You find yourself a guest, treated to lavish comfort, almost all wants fulfilled. The only condition, you cannot leave. Are you content to accept this end? It's very tempting. I'm level 7. 4 ignobles down. But I want that level 8 just to prove it. The prorogati, the prorogati, that's Latin, have built a high realm up high. Why you are among them is a mystery. What happened to you immediately before may have some explanation, but not always. Well, yeah, I was rescued from the siege by my friends the wizards. Time passes strangely in this magical place. The Sky Realm's heirs live in a world of tranquility and opulence above the filthy folk below. Sounds pretty ideal. Most of these wizards ignore humanity. They live upon the clouds, studying the stars and heavens, conversing with their unknown forces above. Many are generational dilettantes, stoned out of their gourds, space cadets, whimsical do-nothings and know-nothings. The magic which perpetuates their lifestyle is invariably enviable, but also waning. Forced into these platonic gardens, you are welcome as a diversion. Fools offering fresh faces and entertainment. My multi-face, too. I probably put on a one-man show with my minstrel ability. But the invited may never be permitted to leave. So they say. Are you in a pavilion circuit tents pitched on the top of the clouds? The place seems like paradise, a joy to behold. All forms of pleasant entertainment await, and theological debates enliven all. You may wonder why you can't just come here whenever you please, why you can't repeat the circumstances with magic that brought you up to the sky realms of the Zairs. Those wizards seem hospitable now, but among them are jealous and crazed. They are unreliable hosts long term, but for the moment, please enjoy your stay. It's like the Magic Kingdom. Gain a random magic swaggering. I've already got all 7. That's probably why they're bringing me in. Plus, there's more. Your character will not suffer perilous condition of wanderlust. Foolhardy. That, not suffering a wanderlust or foolhardy, that's a new blessing. So I lose my double roll blessing, but now I will not be foolhardy. Easy come, easy go. And now I will not have foolhardy. And I do not have it now to lose it. However, your immunity lasts until you reach next level. Fate unknown. Death. D20. And 15. 15, 15, 15. Scrolling down. It's event 1698, 96 if you're keeping close score at home. Practical solutions. The return passage of the ground seems broken. It starts as a golden carriage created from a pumpkin and some field mice. So far, so good. The carriage ride begins but never ends. The conveyance and those on this stagecoach grow smaller and smaller. They cannot reach a final destination. The further they travel, the smaller they become. Disappearing into the subatomic world. Wow, this is like an adventure of afternoon special. Disappearing subatomic world. Check ignoble ingenuity, only up to low 4. Attempt a difficult roll to gain the swaggering hill punch. It would be my 20th. Difficult roll. I'm not rolling twice. It's a 7. Did I make it? Yeah, I made it. I have. Ding, 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 ding. I'm the first person, I'm sure, because the playtesters have not told me so, but I'm the first person to check all 20 swaggering in solo fantasy. Will you be the second? I do not know, because I'm not in your home or your mind. Not yet. If you're traveling with a companion cohort, the role becomes ordinary. Yes, I am traveling with a companion cohort, my friend Jeff, but I do not need his role to make it a 4. And you smash the vegetable patch and tell the engineers studying the problem to build an elevator of steel. Go to Monastic Abbey. Now, going to Monastic Abbey 64 is a great end here, because it also has a secondary situation where at Monastic Abbey, according to one of my minor quests, I'm going to open it up now just so I can put it in the chat. And Stranger Bedfellows, here it is, minor quest. I'm going to take it out. Probably upstairs, if I can fill in some details. This happened, I think just last level. It might have been a couple levels ago. I got a quest to solve some missing children in my my home area, and it was a minor quest, so it just sort of hangs in the background. But from there, if I ever get to Monastic Abbey, I go to Short-Lived Contentment for solving the quest. So when I was up there amongst the Sky Realm of the Zairs, I could observe more of the world, and I could see the abuse of these children, who was actually taking them. And I informed the local abbey, the lord, or the monster that needs to be taken out. It may have even been one of their own, in a modern sense. And I go to Short-Lived Contentment. Now, Short-Lived Contentment, does it go anyplace else? It does not. But it's nice to sort of check that off. It's almost like I should add a fiat that I should be able to check my own ignoble, but I won't cheat the system. If I was playing my own, I would definitely say, hey, it is heroics. That is probably a comradeship or desires to complete that that ignoble. That's what happens in a game like Outlands. People are constantly trying to check their ignobles by doing deeds like this. But I'm going to go, instead of monastic abbey, to short-lived contentment. I have not changed a short-lived contentment. I end up there a lot. And when you end up there a lot, it should probably, by the game mechanics, not be the best of places. It's a 1282. 1282. I impressed myself on how big this is. I probably will add a little caveat in here that whenever you reach here, you should gain a random perilous condition, because nobody in the fantasy world should be content. They should, essentially have flagging vigilance. They should have they should be hunted by assassins. They should become lost and muddled of mind. But for now, it doesn't have those penalties. I'm just going to roll a d20. Optional, you may choose instead to carouse. Yeah, let's go to carouse. I've done this too often not to enjoy myself a little bit. So we're going to go to carouse, and 988. 988 carouse. An essential part of all fantasy gaming experience are the dice. Here you are rolling and betting, drinking, and celebrating. A good place Bond style to also gain clues and a junction leading to adventure every place. Do you feel you must count your coins in your purse? Here's an idea. Buy a pack of dry soup beans, the 15 variety pack. The white and green represent your wins, while the other flavors are your losses. The total weight of each color is the net gain and compound interest on the loan sharking. You need a jeweler's scale. Wait, just stop. Do you really want to spend your time counting beans? Let riches come and go. Gain the perilous condition of treasure laden. Well, I don't want that. It was so great when I could ignore that one, because as I said, the rules give that out a lot. Treasure laden, okay. And a check, ignoble desires up to level 4. I don't even get ignoble desires from it. I'm too rich. I'm too famous. I'm too wonderful. D20. D20 of a 13. That 13 is going to take me 988 plus 13. And it's going to be a result of 1001, or you just can read roll 13 under that table. Must have been fun. You've gone on such a bender that when you finally sober up, you have to ask where you are, what day it is, and if anyone knows your name. Promise yourself to come back for seconds if you're ever, another typo, you're always going to find them in a game I write. I'm just not that good an editor, and certainly with my dyslexia, not that good a speller. Ever in town again. Attempt a difficult roll. If you have trait energetic, the roll is treated as automatic success. I am energetic. Upon success, gain your choice of swaggering. Choice of swaggering? I'm already all 20. I don't need it. I could pick up the 21st swaggering. Tony would appreciate that joke. Continue with ports. Always back to ports. Not a bad place to be. Good place to check ignobles. Here we are in ports. Do I have a quest? I do have a quest. So out to sea I'm going to go. So at ports, it's going to redirect me out at sea. And so at out of sea, I'm going to go to 253. And at sea travel, do I need the ignoble adventure? I do not, because I checked it last time, so I'm going to roll a d20. That d20 is a 2. Silent grumblers. The crew lives separate from the leaders. Discipline is maintained with a whip. If the boat is oars, most do. Either the crew or true slaves must be the power. Talk among the crew has been muted. A sure sign trouble is brewing. Check ignoble comradeship toward advancement. I like that. I'm getting there. 1, 2, 3, 4. Only 4 left. Attempt a difficult roll. If you have the magical ability of power words, treat as magical success. So I use my power words to overhear the conversation. Upon success, gain a random companion of 3. I only need a wench. So let me see if I can roll a d4. I don't have a d3, but a 1. I now have all 3 companions. I picked up a wench aboard. Boy, I feel like Conan with a Belit and the Baruchan pirates. Attempt a difficult roll, and success, gain that companion. Go to mutiny. Mutiny, 379. 379. Now, mutiny, as it says here in the rolls, will occasionally send you back to boarding actions, but when you boarding action as mutiny, you only get 1 roll. It's all stuff you can read. The crew lives in as you play. Most of the mechanics are integrated right in the events. I didn't want to have you have to look at this and go, oh my God, I'm not going to read 40 pages of rule to figure out how to do this nonsense. No, some of the paragraphs are a little bit long just to describe the mechanics on how if you roll something but you don't have it, you can't lose something you don't have. You only gain what you don't have. You don't get to pick an alternate, that sort of thing. There's lots of mechanics that are embedded right in the events so that you can continue to play, get right immersed into it, and then later on you can read a little bit more of the details. Oh, that's how it's done. The crew lives in conflict with masters. Normally in these tables you are passengers. Perhaps you are a working passenger, but your character is not truly a mariner. The voyages you undertake are to get to a place where mysteries are resolved. Yeah, I'm looking for that treasure, magical discovery. The boat is a conveyance, not an end. Yet since the ship environment is literally a prison for most of the crew, you infer yourself into the politics and tension. Try as you may to stay aloof, both crew and captain see you as a sympathetic enforcer. And you may decide to support the crew and the potential rebellion on next event, or support the captain, or just be optimistic. I'm just going to be fatalistic and roll a d20 here, 7, see what happens. I don't want to support any of these guys. I want to go to my magical discoveries. Articles of grievance. Survey the fine day with just a nip of chill and puffs of cumulus to imagine in shapes. There's an elephant. The crew has smoldering hatred for the conditions. You agree to write their petition. You try to temper their harsh tone and ask for small consolations. Frankly, it's all drivel and salutations, but you're only the author and someone else will be the delivery boy. Attempt a difficult role. If your character has companion wench, I just pick one up. Automatic success. She's going to tell me what to write. Automatic success. And success and go to merchant points. Home we go. A fail and start a fight and go to boarding action. It's tempting, but my wench is telling me that we got better things to do. You probably heard that I'm looking for gold. I know I'm jaded. And once again, we're back home. A D20 at the port. 3. A carnival juggler. Life becomes routine, dreary, but you need a vacation, even if you only sleep. Even if the only sleep you get is during drunken binges. Attempt a difficult role. Trade energetic. Treat it as automatic success. I'd see it again at high level because I've got all these. It's streamlining the game. It figures your character has seen enough of the world. A lot of this stuff is secondhand. No flagging vigilance. Go to backwater. Off I go. Back to my home and backwater. Stuck, it seems, in some backwash village on the cusp of decent civilization, times are tough on peasants. The people here do not have a true protector, or they serve a cruel and absentee landlord. This may be a place you were born, since you seem to have sympathy for those who struggle. This could be a place that once looked to you and your family as the lords, but time and neglect has taken a toll. Why do you return? When the hamlet no longer seems familiar, except for the pervasive misery. Probably should be a question mark on the incentives. Each time you return here, an old haunt or homestead of a close relative is visited. The pub, the well, the childhood tree fort, the cousin's manor. Most families share a legacy, even lords with commoners. Attempt a tasking role to gain a swagger of your choice. Well, I could make it, but I mean, I've already got them all until I lose them. And a 10 actually would make the 9. I remove the perilous condition of treasure laden. And from charity and investment. I knew there was a reason I wanted to come back here. I had all this extra treasure wearing me down, and so I started handing it out. I'm a good man at heart. A good thing, and no, you were not burglared. Or were you? Your motives sometimes are problematic upon reaching here. Well, guilt. If you have a quest and penultimate event, I do. 53 plus a d10. Remember, I'm rolling a d20 here and having it. 7 plus 53 is going to be 60. Or I can go to event 17. I move up to event 60. I read that it's event 17 because I am troubleshooting as well. And inopportune timing. Your stay is brief since mostly those you once knew have died or moved elsewhere. Nonetheless, isn't that the truth about going home? Nevertheless, you are proclaimed the bringer of misfortune. Well, that's not nice. Attempt a tasking role if you have magical ability pyrotechnics. I do. I guess those fireballs are not entertaining. Take that, Gandalf. The roll is treated as automatic success. Upon success, gain a clue point. That's 3. 3 is good. 3 is like a magic number. If I get to 4, I tend to have been too long on the quest and not going to the ending. And upon success, gain a clue point. You do not even need to have an active quest, but I do. But now I'm going to go to Crisis at Hand, 1366. What is the crisis at hand that I have to resolve? There's trouble brewing, some man-made, more often mischief, initiated by the Fae, those evil Fae. Humans do not let them live in peace, so why should they feel the need to reciprocate? They do have a point. Someday, even soon, all the non-humans will be extinct. Well, that'd be sad. First from the surface and then driven deeper and deeper in the underworld. That's where they belong. They're never to return as the machine age begins. Well, that's inevitable. Though it would be too easy to solve all dangers with magic, the serfs and clergy dislike such ostentatious displays of anarchy. Magic is feared by the surface folk. Lose a random magic ability to 7. First the dirty Fae take one, and then now the mishap takes one. It's an 8, a 1. I lost my conjuration ability. I'm mad now. I'm mad now. I'm no longer perfect man. I'd like to be a perfect man. I'm getting older. The whiskers are growing long and gray. Consider it a cancel by proximity to those who would rather be eaten by a monster than see lightning come down, not from the sky, but out of a mere mortal's fingers. D8 plus, D20 plus 1366. 9. Event 9, abductor. A high-born babe is missing. Hey, I solved this. Now they just went to the nobles. You are drawn into the drama. You must either help return the child or be accused of involvement. It's not a choice you actually get. You will hunt the culprits. Often the perpetrator is a hobgoblin. That's worse than a dozen men, despite what you have read in your other favorite roleplay game. Check the noble tribulation, but only up to level 2. Attempt an ordinary roll if you have the skill Tinker. I do. The roll is treated as an automatic success. With failure, gain a perilous outcome of lost or muddled. A well-matched duel. I'm not redirected on a well-matched duel. I have Hand of... Oh, I cheated myself. Hand of Fate should have gone to a well-matched duel. You make mistakes. You live it. You move on. I'll catch you the next time. Well-matched duel. I'm going to try to kill the hobgoblin. Cowardice is an option. Not for me, but it would make the story less readable. Of course, don't disappoint on the thrills. Gain a clue point. Ooh, now I'm starting to get into rarefied air here. I have 4. This quest for the gold is taking me all over. Roll a d4. That's how long you have, and this is just going to be ugly. A 3. 3. So this is going to toggle my swaggering off and on. In this case, it's going to toggle it off. One time when I had about 10 or 12 of these, I got in this table and I toggled 2 off, but I added 2 new ones. That was nice, but right now I think this is just going to be ugly. Here comes my first roll of a 4. Multiple images may not be fair play, but if you make several copies of yourself, some of them even flickering in and out of reality, the fight will be very hard to lose. Gain a magical ability conjuration. Oh, this is not planned. Is it just serendipity, or did I just get lucky? You lose something, you get it back. Gosh, that is just good role play. The way loose ends tie back together. But I toggle Bounding Blade. I've lost my Bounding Blade. I am no longer Bounding Blade. I'm now at 19. If you reach the limit of the D4, I've not. Let's roll another D20 here. And 18. In the 18. Where do I go after this? After I'm done, I go to Hand of Fate, but Hand of Fate puts me right back to Well-Matched Duel. This double goblin battle. I am sad by this. 18. I need to roll back-to-back numbers to get my skills back. 18. Shank him offhand. He raises to strike, but you stab him a dozen times in the armpit, under his ribs, and in his groin. He's bleeding profusely and gasping. Boy, this hobgoblin is taking it bad. But I lost uncontested dagger thrust from that. And I'm going to roll my black spot. 8. 8. Hovering harm. Yawn. Even take a seat and let your weapon do the fencing. Toggle the Swaggering Fantastic Blade. I lost 2 blade encounters. Oh, the djinn inside is angry that I'm killing the Hobgoblin Fae. He's got to eat as well as anything else. It was only some noble babe, as in child. I have reached my limit, so I'm now going to go to Hand of Fate. Now I'm going to finally get back to where I should have been and when I didn't cheat. And Hand of Fate goes to Well-Matched Duel. So I'm going to say, right as I turn to leave here, the hobgoblin rises back up, and he wants more payback from me. He wants to strip me more of my swaggering. It's sort of in a way the equivalent of losing hit points that you're going to get back later after the adventure. Doesn't it always feel like that in Dungeons & Dragons? You got 50 hit points if you're at a decent level. You lose 35 of them, but you still feel fine. You can take a blow, and then after the adventure, you're just back again. Only 1, that's good. Let's call this his Dance of Death. D10. A 10, what did I lose? I lost the Sword of Radiance. The illumination of your weapon starts dim, but will glow into a brightening brilliance as the battle goes, as the battle transpires. I don't know why I had that extra goes in there. Toggle the golden blade. I lost, did I lose 3? I lost Bounding Blade, Golden Blade, Uncontested Dagger Thrust, and Fantastic Blade. I lost 3 blade abilities in that battle to kill this hobgoblin. Wow, that is a significant battle. That's like a D. That's like a Q and D type level nonsense. All right, I'm whining like any player. Now I finally go to Hand of Fate after killing the hobgoblin that stole the noble child. Is there any? Yeah, thank you, oh hero. That's what I do. D20. I really would like to get some swaggering out of this. I mean, some ignobles out of this. I got some idiot with a leaf blower in the background here. Leaf blowers. California, do they think blowing the leaves into somebody else's yard is a way of raking them up? All right, so it's hotter now. A D20. I rolled a 10. Let me go down to 10. I do have a quest, so I should have that and add it to 10. It's 15. Going to roll 15. And the reason why you do that is when you have a quest, you don't want to have another quest. Just, you might like your quest. You don't want to replace your quest. 15 violations. Something brings you to ride off the King's Highway into a glade or nut brown heath. I pulled on my describer's dictionary. I try to add, sounds and colors and situations to the writing to make it a little bit more vibrant. The road is, so you got a nut brown heath. The road is generally patrolled and has tolls. Those who travel outside of those defined lengths are seen as criminal. Those who live off those defined courses are seen as felonious. The fell ones are once, that's where the name comes from, felony is a fell one. The fell ones are people most plebs shun. A hero has his reasons. If you currently have 3 or more clues toward a penultimate event, go to that event now. Huzzah! I do have 3 or more clues, and I will go to my 1849. So essentially, I go off the road right into my treasure trove. I guess killing the hobgoblin sort of led me to this magical discovery. You have reached a place of fabulous riches, wealth, and spawn, and concealed during ages past. At one time when I was playing this, I was in the underworld, and a wall came down in a quake, and right behind that was a quest event to go to the penultimate outcome. It felt so true of either a referee going, oh, well, we're at the end of the time, so wall comes down, go into the treasure vault, or it was just the serendipity that you see in a lot of these stories that, after you've struggled long enough, the saga has to end. Eventually, your gold crosses other people's palms, surely does if I carouse more, leaving you just as melancholy as before. Optional, end things here. Go to short-lived contentment. Not on your life. Still looking for more. Yes, a true explorer. Many games, you'll count money. I'll leave the editorial since I've read it way too many times. And I do not have any perilous conditions, which is good. I don't want to die here. And there's some explanation on what magic is in the game. Is it a +1 sword, etc.? It is not a +1 sword unless you play a game that's a +1 sword. And now we're going to zero our penultimate outcome event, and we're going to erase these clue points. I'll put them over here. I do not think I'm going to make level 8 from this. I could get lucky and maybe do, but what I can do is I can, we've gone an hour. I'm going to continue to go, and if you can watch and listen to this over several days, or you can gut it out with me in background noise. Hey, D20. Let's get to level 8. Let's prove it can be done. A 14, very high roll. God, I wish I was rolling twice. And for most of these final penultimate outcomes, there's a lot more fun if you roll low and see a lot of the events. But if you're over the course of running your character through X levels, you're going to end up getting back to these events, and so it's going to seem like a different quest. This one happens to just start at 14. I go to 14. I saw all these Czech ignobles and I'm passing them. Well, I'm shedding a tear here. But a 14 is the avarice abounds. Oh, this is where I failed once before. God, I'm so greedy as a character. You're sorting the spoils, securing what you can take with you. That starts a quarrel. You and your followers will argue over priorities and the split of the shares. There's always followers. Besides the companions I have, you can always imagine that there's henchmen and the other people I recruit on the spot. Check the ignoble desires toward advancement. Well, that's good. Anything that checks an ignoble, some would say, especially at level 7. A little tough to draw. I'll just sort of make a giggly there. I need battle, ingenuity, magic to make level 8. Your blessing is wisdom of age that keeps you from the perilous outcome of wanderlust. Foolhardy. I have the exact someone already. I will not be wanderlust. If you have it now, cancel it. I don't. Now, you must decide to continue with the perilous condition of hunted by assassins or treasure laden. Well, if you're going to have a perilous outcome, you might as well be treasure laden. Don't I have one where I ignore the... No, that was earlier. I ignored the barons were going to make me immune from outlaw status for a little while. But that is since worn. People come and go. If you already have treasure laden, I didn't. Short-lived contentment, 1289. And I'll roll short-lived contentment instead of going to carouse, just so you at home can see it. Many a hero has a fine origin story. After that, how does he fill the idle time between conquering each enemy, tearing an adversary up by the root, thus taking from him all that he has? That's a quote from Genghis Khan that's been reworked many, many times by different writers. Life is quite good with coins in your purse and a gentle breeze over the fields. Of course, your idea of contentment will vary. What does change from hero to hero is the countdown timer. No hero gets to enjoy his life. Have you heard the bards sing the tales of Bronnadbur? Of Brunanbur? Of the wife's lament or child Maurice? No, they've only been around for 1,200 years. These are old English and old French epic poems. They're online. They're worth a read. The cadence of them is different than both lyrical poems and modern prose. When the breeze shifts, you'll be back on the waters or riding toward the smell of victory. Next event is such and such, or you can choose to go to Windfall. Corrals, I would rather just go ahead and roll from here to see some different. And the more you move around through different tables, the more chance you're going to check the correct nobles too. 5. It says, makeover. You're bored. You eat and drink and avoid mirrors. You decide an easier method than diet is exercise and diet and exercise is the body shape with the help of the supernatural. That's probably a bad idea, as you will attract other unnatural things. Gain magic advancement up to level 6. I'm level 7. Attempt an ordinary roll to remove the perilous condition of lost and modeled. I don't have it. I could roll anyway, but I'm not rolling for anything. You would not take off treasure laden for that. I don't have that, then the same roll. I could have gone to carouse and lost that treasure laden. Live and learn. Fight the beast. Now wait a second. Fight the beast? Did fight the beast? I know I had other things that would make me go to fight the beast. Actually, a couple. But fight the beast did not lead to an event. I needed to finish something up. But fight the beast. 946, the beast that was formed by me playing with my body sculpting. I sound like one of them. Is it Tremere? I worked on the video game, but I never have played the pen and paper versions of the vampire games. You grimly face a monster, something you've never fought before. There is not a set standard of what you face. Each is unique. This is a fight you are not expected to win. Ha! Tell that to the hand. The best you might accomplish is to die while slain. Well, that doesn't sound good. Often, all you do is drive it away, back to the depths or to the wild places few ever cross. Check the ignoble battle toward advancement. You can hear the excitement in my voice as we inch toward the final Level 8, Ingenuity and Magic. No matter what level you are and how many skills and swearing you might have, the result seems a foregone conclusion. The monster here is greater, and it's greater than the guy that has all magic ability and almost all swaggering. That's a pretty impressive monster. Let's see. There is an alternative. Before you start events, use a soak-off. Use your wench. I do not have a quest, or that stranger could take me to imminent doom. I don't like cohort. So, I gotta say, of all those choices, is soak-off. Or should I just roll it? God, there's a lot that can happen if I roll it. All right, we'll roll it. We'll protect the woman who convinced me to go after the treasure and then fought with me over the division, and we ended up killing hirelings. Okay, 20 and 9. Paralyzing freeze. A chill is in the air that grows ever colder even as you exert. Attempt a difficult roll. Upon success, we're going to go back to fight the beast. Failure, go to mortal hiatus. I'll be dead. A difficult roll to avoid death. Who convinced me to do this? 7 and 9. I didn't have. I avoided death. D20. There's a way off this table, but I've yet to found it. Fists of Fury. The monster does not have hands. It has mallets, the kind that flatten stone in a foundation of into a foundation of sand to support mighty walls. Attempt a tasking roll. If you have companion wench, the degree of difficulty becomes ordinary. She's distracting it. Success and fight the beast. Fail and go to mortal hiatus. An ordinary roll is only a 4. I should get past this. Yes. D20 roll. 6. The caustic embrace. The battle away the multiple tentacles of the creature as these melt away skin and puncture to suck out internal organs. I'm not even sure what accents that is, except gravelly veteran. Attempt an ordinary roll to gain a random swaggering. Well, there's a possibility I'll get one. Go to fight the beast. Ordinary roll is an ordinary roll? Yeah, ordinary roll. It's only a 4 for me. Okay, a random roll. All right, I roll a random number. 20. I already have a wrestling hole, so I don't. It is this case I'm not toggling here. It doesn't say toggle, turn it off or on. This is just you would gain it. I am wrestling and wrestling. It makes sense too, you know. I like to battle away the multiple tentacles. I'm in my wrestling holes. I'm using that swaggering to knock the battles away. I'll be Mercer for a second, or Coville, where it isn't good enough. The guy rolls a 17 and says he hits. You got to have the guy elaborate. The blow comes off the shield. All right, let me see what he got here. Another D20 roll. 12. 12. Venomous secretions. I shouldn't take away their fun. They're probably great guys. Forgive me, but, you know, the way they play sucks. Your leather boots turn green on contact with a monster's sweat. I don't want green boots. Attempt a difficult roll. Did Tom Bombadil, I think, had green boots, didn't he? Or did he have blue? Attempt a difficult roll. If you have the trait bold, reduce the degree of difficulty to ordinary. I'm bold, so it's ordinary roll. Upon success, go to convalesce. This will get me off the tables. If I can just get past the monster's evil secretions. And it's a difficult roll. It becomes an ordinary roll because I'm bold. Here it comes. I need a 4. Anything but 2s or 3s. I'm off the table. I have defeated the monster with the sledgehammer hands, with its vile secretions. That was a good fight. That was vivid. Well done, lad. And convalesce. And I still kept my wench, my companion, a stranger. I didn't sacrifice any of them. And I go to convalesce down at 127. I checked in level 2. Engineering and magic. I'm close. 112 in. Tired of tears and laughter, of men that sow and reap, of what may come hereafter, and everything but sleep. Swinburne, the English romantics, especially as an English speaker. Sometimes they come back in old age. What you hated as a kid having to memorize, you remember as an old man and think, wow, that was actually profound. Tired of tears and laughter. You were injured emotionally, physically, spiritually. You may have been near death. I've been near death 8 times. Lose a clue point. Nah. If you do not have a penultimate event, remove any perilous condition of your choice. Well, I guess I spent a little bit of money, or that wench I'm traveling with has spent a little bit of money. Once again, I stereotype, but if it offends, I'm sorry. It's good for, hey, have you actually watched a movie from the 30s, 40s, or 50s? None of these. Consider yourself lucky. I do. I took off treasure laden. Your goal would then end in failure. You may also be wise to abandon your quest. Oh, that's why your goal would end in failure. Attempt an ordinary roll to gain a random companion. I already have all the random companions. I guess if I want to be really mean, I could roll and toggle these things. Why would I add more meanness to the game? The game is already pretty vicious. Next event is at 127 plus D20. Let's see what happens for my convalescing period, 12. Now this is a low number event. It's not going to have any ignobles in here. You need to get up in the upper, higher level events. External terrors. The world did not stop turning simply because you required soft bed and fitted sheets. Seems like somebody like my stranger would be saying to me that. My Mako. You recover just in time to see the external world plunged into chaos. Back to business. Attempt a difficult roll. If you have the magical ability Illusions, the roll is treated as automatic success. Once you have all those magic abilities like I do, things go pretty smoothly when you're level 7. Upon success, gain a random companion. Doesn't matter. Imminent Doom. It's too bad. Having a penultimate quest, Imminent Doom is where you want to go. Imminent Doom is signaling the end of your quest. That's, phase 3. Phase C, flipping that 9. Imminent Doom. Let's go there instead. Did I handle all of that? Difficult roll. I didn't make a roll because I already have all the companions. You are close to a goal, and peril awaits your knock. Dwell not on where you are, nor how you reached here. This is part of the quest, should you have one. The secrets of man are not more intricate than that of monsters, and the intrigues are surely more dangerous. Yet combining the two, you get certain doom. The campaign is about to transform dramatically and terribly. Attempt an ordinary roll to remove a perilous condition of wanderlust. Foolhardy. If you have an active quest, I do not, you have reached the climax. Regardless of your tally of clue points, go to the penultimate event. I have done that many times, especially since the exit of the underworld frequently ends with impending doom. And that impending doom is that climax within the underworld. And so then you will go to your penultimate event. That's how the mechanics sort of push you to these endings. Those who are not so lucky will see the campaign and their own lives change for the worse. That danger remains pending. That's me. I'm not so lucky because I do not have a quest. You can see there's no penultimate event and clue points here. It's going to be the next event is 232 plus D20. Note, any dramatic change of the campaign will only last one follow-on event when it is generated, unless you are level 6. I am. Then make the change last for a D4 follow-on occurrences. Also, by being forced to roll in this table, no quest, check any ignoble of your choice up to level 4. Should you redirect to your quest end, take no ignobles. Well, I don't do either. And then there's the skull and crossbones, where the I think it means that the in the advanced rules that the campaign is going to change. I envision this where you can take a map like Outland of the Outlands, Chronicles of the Outlands, and it has rivers and seas, and it has city-states along those rivers, and you can just take a pawn and put it on the map and say, I am in Kiev. And occasionally the tables will say, you have now moved down the river toward, I would have to, off the I don't remember one, Novgorod, or move toward, is Minsk one? And move toward the Black Sea, move toward the Baltic Sea. That's the one I was trying to fight for. And as you move around, you would also change the campaign. You would add places which have permanent conditions of perilous conditions, or permanent places that heal those conditions. So you would move your pawn around the map and add another sort of tactile element to this whole strategy. And those are the wingdings that are on the end of the paragraphs, occasionally in blue. For those of you who are either seeing this a year from now or wondering why they're in there as a playtester. And we are going to go to, this will last, D20, and it'll last at D4. It'll last for the next 4 encounters. I'm going to be stuck with this penalty. And the penalty of 17 is my impending doom. Because it's no good to wreck the world if it doesn't affect the player character. You can have all this conflagration going on, but if the player characters are not directly affected, it's not personal enough, because you're not really the characters you portray as much as you want to immerse yourself in this stuff. Give up the cosplay. Come back to the dice rolling. A fissure opens in the realm, and the chasm creates seems boundless. Men labor to build first rope bridges, then arched wooden ones, something which would hold carts to keep trade moving. The canyon will heal itself, close, and doesn't appear to be spewing monsters. It's a rift. Deal with the logistics. Attempt a difficult, an ordinary roll. If you have the trait energetic, the roll is treated as automatic success. I am. Upon success, gain a random magic ability. I already got it. Go to undead tombs. Well, looks like it's spewing monsters to me. Seeking wisdom as to what was done the last time this gorge appeared. Oh, I follow it, so I got to go to the undead tombs to figure out why the rift appeared. The later consequences will mean the next time you generate dogged estate, substitute cliffhanger. That change was caused by the first event. So, dogged estate goes to cliffhanger, and that change was caused by the first event. It was a chasm, so you get cliffhangers. You know, Mike will like that joke. Mike, if you're listening, you'd like that joke. Dogged Estate is going to be cliffhangers. I got armor. I'm just a recap here. Army at the Marsh, I'm going to go to Sea Travel. Torture, I go to Baronial Court. That's a good one. Sometimes there are really bad places within the tables, and on good places, it'll tell you that the next time you go to some of these bad places, it'll redirect you to a better place, a good place, to allow you to avoid those really bad places. That's another way the mechanics can sort of help you. There's also times when the mechanics will force you to go to bad places from good places, like this one. A Dogged Estate normally is, you know, you're going to go run your lands, and instead you're going to go to cliffhanger because something is going to still be lingering from this chasm that opened up and my trip to the undead to try to figure out how to close it. That's the way that works. It's all happening behind the scenes. You just need to keep some notes yourself, and everyone keeps notes when they're role players. You're role players. You keep notes. It starts with a character sheet and goes on from there. Let's go off to Undead Tombs 757. Maybe I can get some ignobles out of this. I do need magic and ingenuity. A good way to visualize this is a leader. A central figure stands and commands. He could be a sorcerer, or more often is another more stately undead, a plumed helmet sort. If you're playing your other favorite roleplay game, you definitely must fight a lich of the elder kind with full set of spells and magic immunity. It can gate too, like a class 5 demon. Ha, kidding. I'm not even sure in my years before freestyle that I managed to win against one of those. I probably should sound more natural that I'm not reading that. Hand of Vecna, indeed. This could be a reenactment of your favorite zombie film. Else, you have some Ray Harryhausen skeletons working the magic of stop-motion animation. Undead are a great trope and easy to scale up to your party size and ability. You're probably fugged. But let's make an event roll and find out. Checking Noble Battle, I already have it, but it's only up to level 6 anyway. Gain the perilous condition of treasure laden. I just can't help myself. No matter when I go into places, I always walk out carrying way too much loot. Who would have thought in any roleplay game that loot would be treated as peril? Well, that's what happens in a better game. We turn your delights into banes. There's no set of number, and eventually you start to love your banes. Gain a D20. Next event is a D20 plus 757. Set the number of events to endure. There's no set number of events, and you may ping pong back and forth from this start several times before you find your way out to escape your undead host. Every ref has a ton of these easy to paint figures in his miniatures case. White bones or black cloaks. Done. 7. Off to 7. The Demon Colt. Garish colors force you to shield your eyes from an unnatural glare. As you battle, there are reinforcements supporting you. Seems you're not alone in your hatred of these blasphemers. Of course not. There's a chasm in the land, probably caused indirectly by these guys. They know how to close it. Could be your bravery has inspired an insurrection of the captives, and even goblins are helping you here. You might also have been followed for some time, thinking you were part of the cult. Now they know. That happened in the Mummy movie, if you remember. The guys you think are after you suddenly turn into friends. Now, proving otherwise, you stand a chance of surviving by not being the first to be killed. Attempt a difficult roll to gain a random companion. Already have them all. But this fight must end for now and retreat. Go to fleeing terror. Well, I'm out that quick. Any other outcome would be too coincidental. Take your detour and dash. If that is beyond your core values, not beyond my core values, I'm a good runner. Go to mortal hiatus. I do not need to go die in a good fight, and so with a salute and a tear. You're a better man than I, Gunga Din Kipling. I will go to fleeing terror. I understand that there are many things in the world that I should be running from. To stand in certain defeat, else retreat to a place that might offer tactical advantage. The choice seems clear, but whether this is along the previous explored path or into unknown spaces, either is quite dangerous. In the underworld, enemies may arrive from any angle, including above, below, or emerging with magic right in your midst. Fail an ordinary roll at the start of your retreat and gain the perilous condition, of muddled. I need a 4. I am not muddled. If I was level 0 now, just starting off and getting in these situations, oh gosh, what a muck it would seem like. And if you are not the type that wants to persevere, when you play this game right fresh out of the package, you're going to see these events come at you and you're going to go, who wrote this? It's so bloody mean. No, it's the realization that you're improving with time. So when you get up to level 6s, 7s, 4s, and 5s, you start to see, hey, I can actually handle this. But many of you won't. Go to, let's see if I'm going to move on. And you may have been here again before you find your way out safely. Each time you recycle directly back here from this event, from the D20 result, you may add 1 to your task resolutions roll. Hey, I get a +1 Winky. Up to +4. Third time a row would be a difficult roll, say, and +2 to the dice. If you do not escape within 5 attempts, though, after that +4 modifier, you're going to go right to death. Mortal hiatus. Or Monster Lair. If for levels less than 4, and we go for Monster Lair for me. 1.5 hours. In some cases, the event has no roll, so any bonus is meaningless. Any bonus is gone once you stop fleeing and move on to other events. I'm probably going to cap this here. I will roll the next roll. Although Fleeing and Terror is a good way to stop for the moment. I'm gonna stop here at Fleeing and Terror, but on your videotape here, it won't seem that way because I'll merge them together. Time to ride a bike, do some exercise, be healthy. I'll see you in just a sec.